Well, probably shouldn't be doing this, but what the hell. So, hard drive has done another video, and this one didn't say much of anything relevant to anything, but I'll go over it once again. So the key word from his moron. Apparently, moron is like, I don't know, that's like the worst word in the world you can call somebody is a moron. And it's a justification for going completely ballistic, and video after video after video, and not where you defend how you're not a moron, where you demonstrate that you're logically articulating a point, but you can't. How could he possibly demonstrate that when what is the logic in waving a gun and advocating revolution? And watching videos and then ragging, not watching videos and then ragging on them. That's what he did the last time we had a conflict. So then he made some, minor point that he would have removed the video of my name and phone number and address sooner. You see, if I wasn't such a prick. See, the principle. It's not that he doesn't really understand the principle involved. And so it's not a matter of principle for him. It's a matter of, well, if I feel like it, I'll do it. But if I don't feel like it, I won't do it. And I guess that's sort of like the town council I'm fighting. You see, they think the Constitution only applies when they feel like it. If they don't like the person, well, then no, the Constitution doesn't apply anymore. And so it's the same kind of, for shit standard that doesn't mean anything. There's no point in having a standard if the standard doesn't mean anything. And so then he says, I shouldn't say souls. Yeah, we all use the word because it's a convenient catch-all for the idea of your emotional self, your identity, your id, your whatever. But anyway, that's okay. Well, he wants to, that's an issue for him. Fine. And he says, evil is subjective. Right. Everybody has their own standards, and for me, fascists are evil. People who say "shut up" to somebody else, and do it with a gun in their hand, that's evil. You said lots of other things that are a demonstration of what I would call evil. Evil is manipulating words, taking them out of context, and contriving little silly excuses for it. There was no reason to separate my remarks from the complete context. There was none. The only excuse is to manipulate what I was saying, and you successfully did that. Okay, and this all started with the fake Sagan video, and my reaction was, well, how could fake Sagan and the amazing atheist, who admittedly have some kind of intellectual capacity, it's bent evil. It's definitely got an evil connotation, but it's an intelligence nonetheless, associate themselves with an asshole who, he can't convey. He says, cool and collective. This is a common phrase in American English. How can you get that one wrong? Cool and collective? No, it doesn't, well, anyway, it is funny. So anyway, that association I just can't accept. I just can't accept when intelligence, hangs out with retards. It just breaks my brain the wrong way. And so I would make a video about how, yes, the fake Sagan, I ridiculed him for his association with a moron. And, and I guess it's just a degree of moron. This is just a, Brett King, Firefly kind of thing, I guess these people like to have lessers as affiliates, because they probably blow a lot of smoke up their ass. They probably make them feel good, and that's what they're really after. This is an ego game for them. So anyway, and then he says he understands my position, and I'm saying it over and over and over. He obviously doesn't understand my position. Doesn't even come close to understanding my position, because he keeps getting it wrong. And what he hasn't done, especially on the future issue, is he hasn't explained how these two lines, technology and violent tendencies, how these two lines are not going to intersect in the future in some catastrophic way. That we don't have to change anything. We can all have the same freedom we have right now in the future. It's not going to be any problem. And it's nonsensical mush. And I've asked people to point to the video, point to the sci-fi story, the description of future reality that has these two components, freedom, civilization, and technical progress. And I would point out how the movie is likely flawed. That's all. I think it's impossible to write that script, because there's just no way to do it. There's no way to have people flying around in their own autonomous world in nuclear-powered spaceships and all the rest of this stuff and still have a civilization, because some asshole, like the asshole who calls me makes crank calls over something this trivial, will do something insane. And that's just a fact of life. And if we don't deal with that fact of life, we will not survive the future. It's a guarantee. You don't have to believe me. That's okay. But get the argument right. I'm not saying I want to suppress anyone's rights. Not at all. I'm just saying that we aren't going to survive if we don't. So where's your logic? You tell me how it makes any sense for us to have, let's say, hydrogen something or other. So we have a tank of hydrogen, and or some other, incredibly powerful explosive, and how everybody can have access to that, and it's not going to be a threat whatsoever. No problem. It's a silly expectation. And with future technology, like I said, the power of technology is only going to get grander, and the danger. And I'm just saying we have to be ready for that. We have to do it before it happens. You can't keep reacting to 9/11s after they happen. You have to anticipate them before they happen, because the next 9/11 could be 10 million people, and we just can't afford to let that happen. It's not that complicated. Let's see, but I guess I'll have to do 400 videos, because there's still an awful lot of people who don't understand it. How many times have I said I would not pass legislation banning guns? How many times? And they just don't get it. They just keep arguing this gun crap. It's, they just don't get it. So whatever. Let's not get too lost in this bullshit. So they made some analogy between, my argument about this problem and suggesting that I want to kill Asians. So if I was for gun control, his analogy was that to be against guns is the same thing as to say you're for killing Asians. That's a scary parallel to draw.